Hello, 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 everybody. I hope you're doing well. Come on in. It's Wednesday. A lot to talk about here. I don't know, you guys. There's something going on here with this 2 a.m. thing, I feel. Do you really believe that... dogs are sounding off. Sorry if that's triggering your dogs. Hold on just a minute. Here they come. I shut the downstairs patio curtains so that they wouldn't bark. I don't know, somebody's doing yard work out there or something. So anyway, when we're looking at the Idaho 4 case, Ethan Chapin's mom has always said that 2 a.m. is her darkest hour. And it coincides with when Maddie and Kaylee are getting home. How do we know they got home? Because the 1112, which is the neighbor, that ring cam caught the girls' voices as they got out of the car and were heading to the house. That's what we were told, that was caught on ring cam. And so that was at 1:56 a.m. And then 4 minutes later is 2 a.m. So even if it was 1:56 a.m., it's close enough to 2 that I'm like, it's, we have 2 of the victims arriving home, and we have another set of victims, another pair of victims in Xana's bedroom, that the mother of Ethan is stating 2 a.m. is her darkest hour. And so between the two, with the girls arriving home and that, I, honest to God, was like, okay, I remember something on that Lindel Lane footage. Now, I haven't done much with the Lindel Lane footage, but now that we're hearing about this footage existing in court, now I'm starting to pay a lot closer attention. So there's people way ahead of me on the Lindel Lane footage. You have to remember, for those of you that are newer to the case, the Lindel Lane footage comes from a camera that is located on the exterior of an apartment building that is like, okay, so here's the apartment building. Here would be 1122 King Road. There's quite a distance. I don't know how many yards. So any noise on the Lindel Lane, that's what it's called, the Lindel Lane footage, because the road's right there. But if it's really loud and clear, it's going to be coming from that apartment building. And so it's so hard to decide if it's coming from right there or if it's coming wherever. However, you can tell when there's very far away, distant, loud sounds. And that's what I was tuning into. Not what's coming and going in right now. Not what's all right around that camera, but the far off things. And what's wonderful is there's a time stamp. So, last night, I sat up and dug around on YouTube creator channels trying to find exactly what I was looking for until I found it. And I'm going to show it to you, but it's more about hearing. Some of you aren't going to hear it. I actually have problems with my left ear, have for a month now. And so I can only hear it out of my right ear. It's going to depend on your sound system. But you can hear that something's going on. And the thing is, for it to be picked up on a camera that far away, it would have to be screams, yells, right? So that it's distinguishing. If somebody's right on by the camera, you're going to hear talking, you're going to hear noises and things like that. Very easy. But it's off in the distance. And at 1:56 a.m., there starts something on that footage of a don't worry about the video itself, that I'm not looking at that right now, but I'll show it to you. It's not just one sound. It goes on and on. So, did Kaylee and Maddie walk into a shite show going down? I don't know. Something is being triggered there. Again, Ethan Chapin's mother, Stacy, has said 2 a.m. is her darkest hour. 1:56 a.m. is when Kaylee and Maddie arrived home. Olivia, the sister, has confirmed that that was caught on the 1112 neighbor ring cam. But it's just the audio, because it's not facing the house. So, I'm going through this whole thing again because something had to have gone down at that time for the mother of a victim to feel exactly a certain way about a certain time. I can't accept that the police absolutely believe between 3 and 4 a.m. that this took place based on all their evidence and everything that was being presented until after they have a suspect and find out something, and they're like, nope, we're changing everything. We're going to change the make and model of the vehicle to fit his. We're going to change the timeline of when these victims were taken out to fit him. And it's kind of like, you know, they're molding the crime around Kohlberger, their suspect, and no matter what, they're going to make the shoe fit. And if this was Cinderella and we're looking for, you know, the real one, Kohlberger isn't going to fit that low glass slipper. It's like a can of busted biscuits being shoved in, packed in, and we can all clearly see that it's BS. I don't even know how trial is going to happen. I don't, because they're going to have to suppress so much information for anybody to truly look at Kohlberger, because the only thing they have is touch DNA. I swear, it's like Billy Bob was working there for the fake bureau investigation, and he was like, do you think that's at Kohlberger's car? Look at the footage. You think that's Kohlberger's car? And, you know, Jim Bob was like, sure, why not? I mean, you can't prove it ain't his car. That's how I feel is the entire prosecution's case. So, with all of that, I wanted to show you this. Now, like I said, it's not much to see. It's hard to hear. I'm not saying it is something, but I'm saying it's something worth looking at because it's right at that time frame. And you can hear in the distance, and that's key. In the distance, because there's quite a distance, right? A half a block, basically, away from the house. So it would have to be screaming, yelling, carrying on. Are you ready to see it? Now, some of you have already seen it and are like, oh my God, Lindel Lane footage. Not again. There's a lot of people like myself that haven't done a lot of research on this. All right, let me get PowerPoint up on the board for you. And like I said, 1:56 a.m. is when Kaylee and Maddie arrived home. And then 4 minutes later is the darkest hour of Ethan Chapin's mother. That's why this little audio, and it's short, matters though. Now I'm going to hide behind the screen so that you can see what you got to see, because there ain't nothing to see really. It's hearing it. But the first time around, I'll go ahead and play it like this.
Now let's take a look at the second video that was uploaded on July 4th. That is from the exact same camera at 1330 Lindel Lane, but captures the time from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. on November 13th, 2022. There is less in this second video that is of interest, because we know that between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., all of the victims were reportedly still alive, according to police documents. Reportedly, Ethan and Zana were at 1122 Queen Road at 1:45 a.m., and Kaylee and Maddie were dropped off at 1122 Queen Road at around 1:56 a.m. I've heard conflicting reports about what time Kaylee and Maddie were dropped off, but 1:56 a.m. appears to be the time that is most often reported. So here are some key moments in this footage. At 1:55:19 in the video, a car can be heard approaching the area.
Oh, I was muted. Let me re-say that. I said that 1:55 a.m. is exactly when E.G., the driver, is going to be arriving at 1122 King Road with Kaylee and Maddie and dropping them off. So you're going to hear the car actually pull up. And because of that, it gives me just no training here, but you know what I'm saying. It gives me logical understanding that if I'm hearing that car arrive, that then the same distance away, I'm going to hear voices and stuff. Okay? Because that's Kaylee and Maddie arriving home at the exact time that it's been claimed by her sister that they were caught. And it never says what they did, what they said, nothing. Just that they were caught, not on camera, but on voice when they arrived. Could this be the actual footage that Olivia, the sister of Kaylee's, referring to? I don't know. But what you're hearing is Kaylee and Maddie arriving, okay? To the best of our knowledge. Now, let me get back here again. Let's try this again.
And then at 1:55:45, a female's voice can be heard briefly. Then at 1:55:58, a screeching sound can be heard, followed by another screeching sound.
Okay. That's absolutely horrific sounding to me. I don't know about you guys, but that is absolutely screaming to me. And I'm wondering what is going on. Is it Kaylee and Maddie discovering Ethan and Xana and that have already been done? And then they're getting attacked as well. I mean, the timing is so precise. Kaylee and Maddie are dropped off at 1:56 a.m. This is actual footage yards away at the next door apartment building. You can hear the car arrive to drop these girls off, and then you hear all this screaming, and you're trying to tell me that there's nothing wrong? I can't. To me, they're right there. Something is either occurring or has occurred or both. And that's why I'm like, I'm going to find it that minute. I didn't know what it would be. I just was like, I want to hear that, because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why would 2 a.m. be the darkest hour when that would be the hour that Maddie and Kaylee are getting home, right at 1:56 a.m., 4 minutes apart? I mean, even if Ethan's mom was talking about that 2 a.m. hour, 1:56 could be the 2 a.m. hour. So I was like, I got to find the Lindel Lane footage and listen to it. And when I found it, and I'm hearing all this, you can imagine where I'm like, wait a minute, hold the phone. What the hell is all of this? And then, if this all took place much earlier, then that would present the concept that it's quite possible that DM and Bethany's texts are staged. Are you feeling what I'm saying? Because it would have been all done by that time. And then a lot of us, including me, have always had a problem with these 10 calls to JD, the ex, who has his phone off, as well as his phone is off. He's sleeping, right? Hanging out with videos with his friends. When did he have time to hang out and do videos with his friends? I don't get that. He was at the bar with Kaylee till almost the last second. Less than an hour later, he zonked out. I thought he was in his friends and they were playing video games. His alibi isn't so strong, see. But anyway, to get back into this 2 a.m. hour is so bizarre to me, because I don't buy DM's texts that they even make sense. Like all of us have pointed out, they don't even think of getting help. Should we call someone? That's never shown. Yes, we're missing texts. They cherry picked what they were showing us, I believe. So maybe in that text somewhere, it's going to come out that they were like, should we be calling 911? I don't think so, though. I don't think that either girl thought of getting help because they already knew the answer. Now, also, when the 911 call happens and the transcripts occur and are released, during the 911 call, not one mention of Kaylee or Maddie. Nothing. And the only way that would occur, in my opinion, is if you already knew you don't need help for those people. You already knew nothing could be done. There's no curiosity. There's no concern for the third floor victims. I mean, I wish we would have heard the operator say, are there any other people in the home? And at that moment, it would have been interesting to hear what these people said. No. Oh, yeah. What about Kaylee and Maddie? No. We don't even have that. It's like Kaylee and Maddie do not exist. Because in my opinion, it was over and they knew it. So, this screaming, it makes me really honestly feel like something took place. Let's listen to it one more time. I'm not going to blow it up and hide behind because it's just sound. But we're going to go ahead and listen to some of this again. Okay. I'm trying to find it. There we go.
In the area.
Okay, wait. The train's going by. But I don't know about you. I'm going to rewind it there. I can hear this sound really faintly far off, and it's like constant sound. So I'm going to rewind it, let the train go by. And I want you to tell me if you hear it too. Yeah, neighbors did hear it, lucky. They did report it, that they heard the dog barking for 30 minutes solid, and it's on camera. Okay, I think the train's gone by long enough. Okay, listen close and see what you think. Like I said, do you hear a type screaming that just goes on forever, or is it just some sort of high-pitched sound I'm hearing that's wavering? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below if you're on replay. I'm hearing it. Okay, wait. What is that? It's something. I don't know what it could be, but that's even before the hysterical screaming. Listen.
And then at 1:55:45, a female's voice can be heard briefly. Then at 1:50,
I could hear it so strong right there at the very end. You can hear, "Ooh-ah!" It's freaking me out. Get off. That's what I'm hearing. Ah, get off. I'm shaking from that. I had never, even last night, I didn't hear that part before. I'm going to play it one more time.
and then at 1:55:45, a female's voice can be heard briefly.
Sobbing. Get off. Sobbing. And this person is like, get off me! Get off! Okay. That's before all the woo's gonna happen.
Then at 1:55:58.
Just wait. Is that Xana getting taken out? You got the chills too, Debbie? Somebody's hysterical. And if I didn't know that there was a quadruple homicide, I would have called the cops if I had been outside and even just heard that part. Because of the rawness of it. They're hysterical. They're guttural. They're, get off me! I mean, I'm like, I want to run and help that person. I know I said I was only going to play it one more time, but I want to make sure I'm hearing this.
A female's voice can be heard briefly. Then at 1:55:58, a screeching sound can be heard, followed by another screeching sound. I'm not sure if this is a scream or screeching tires.
Sounds like a scream to me. What do you guys think? Oh, that gave me the chills. Absolutely the chills. Prime Candy, I hear something. I thought it said Santa. Y'all get off me. That screaming is heart-wrenching. Now keep in mind, 2 a.m. is the darkest hour for Ethan Chapin's mother. This is at 1:55 to 1:58 a.m. This is when Kaylee and Maddie are allegedly coming home. Yeah, I didn't think screeching tires, in my opinion, either, Zoe. So, anybody that's going to come at me and be like, why don't you believe when the police say? Because that doesn't fit what we're hearing. That doesn't fit the evidence, if you will. This is evidence. Lindel Lane footage is considered evidence. This is evidential tape. This is the exact time that we're hearing screaming and Kaylee and Maddie are getting home. Was really Ethan and Santa the target and then Kaylee and Maddie walked in on it? Because remember, Steve G, even though he talks a lot of shite, he said that this individual was heard saying, I'm here to help you, and then chased the victims. Then we heard through the PCA, not the PCA, through Dylan, the roommate, that she could hear people running up and down the stairs. Are the girls being chased directly upstairs? Did they walk in on Santa and Ethan with all this nonsense, and now they're being chased up the damn stairs? Now, there's no camera on Kaylee and Maddie when they get home. That's fact. So there is no way in God's green earth that her sister, Kaylee's sister, can say that these girls pottied that dog. All she knows is the dog got pottied. Period. And so, was it more that the dog was put out right away and the girls were chased upstairs and taken out? Not that the dog got toileted right away, but that the dog got put out of the house, because you can hear a dog bark in the background as well. I don't know. I'm just wild. Annette, please don't do that. Don't call people names, especially if I don't even call Steve G names. And I disagree with the way he's handled this case. Here's the thing. Nobody's going to be able to convince me personally that because Kara was getting some sort of a plea deal, that instead of silencing the one that they want to shut up, that they're going to go kill 4 kids. That's not how it works. They're going to silence the one that they don't want to talk, not leave them alive to run their mouth and da-da-da-da-da. And Kara's been on how many YouTube channels and run her mouth. I doubt it has anything to do with that. Feel free to believe that. I'm not saying it doesn't have to do with drugs. I'm not saying it doesn't have to do with supremacist groups. I'm not. But I'm not going to all pin it on Kara and say that because Kara was plea dealing out, that they did it to shut her down. There's no way in my book. And the reason is because my ex was a bad dude. And yes, they will go after a family member. Not necessarily to take them out, but to mess them up and send a message. When they're going to shut somebody down and shut them up, they take that person out so that person can't talk. They don't leave them alive to continue to go on into the system. Now what do they have to lose? You've already taken what they love, right? No. So that's just my opinion. I'm stuck on, could be rugs, though. I will say could be rugs associated with all these frats. These frats could have been making rugs and reselling. I don't know. Ocean Deep says, I think they timed it right. The first two then, as it arrived, the girls, in my opinion, it's way too close to that CCTV scream. That's why I had to bring you the scream, because it's Long Island hillbilly, absolutely bone-chilling scream. Robin Davis Duckworth, Danny, is a DoorDash confirmed as fact? No. We have no fact that we've been told, and we've been lied to. We've been told that Dean was never in the middle floor, that she slept through the whole thing, and so did Bethany at the basement. We get lied to. So for the LE to say that Xana got a DoorDash at that time, sounds to me like the only way they knew about it is because some DoorDash driver showed up a week later and was like, yeah, I delivered to that property about that time, I think. I don't know. That's my opinion, Care. Care is a Scorpio. She says BF and DM ran out the front door and left it open, in my opinion. I think that's Bethany's car driving in a circle waiting on Dylan. And I think Dylan and went up to check on a victim. I think she was gonna let Murphy in. I think she snuck out of her room in some way and was gonna check on somebody and got a footful and tracked it all over the damn house. And ran out the front door and then was like, oh my God, I'm so screwed, right? And some people are like, well, yeah, DoorDash came, Jack in the Box is sitting on the counter. Y'all, there are dirty dishes from God knows when sitting on that counter. You can't possibly assume that that is from that night. We have no idea. It is heartbreaking, Momo's thinking. Thank you, it is. White Widow Baby True Crime. DoorDash arrived at 4 a.m. Tuesday night. We have no proof of that. None at all. Nobody's come out and said DoorDash arrived at 4 a.m. exactly. We don't even know if the DoorDash delivered the food to someone, if they even came. We don't have anything confirming any of it. Didn't DM call the driver? Maybe she was coordinating arrivals, independent thoughts. Well, the thing is she called the driver after 2 something. So even if Kaylee and Maddie were already home, so she would know it if she was home. Maybe Dylan wasn't home yet. What if Dylan got that idea to see if Kaylee and Maddie were home a little after 2? Or if the deal was done already? And one of the ways would, if you knew this was going to go down, right? Then if the driver is still out driving around, then it hadn't occurred yet. But if he's done and dropped the girls off, then it's occurred. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out with you. Okay, I'm going to listen to it again. For those of you that don't want to hear it, fast forward. I'm going to listen to it one more time because this is just, this whole 2 a.m. with the mom, Ethan's mom, 2 a.m., the darkest hour. That's what started this whole thing for me. And then I was like, that's right when Kaylee and Maddie would be getting home. So those 2 coincidences are really strange. I'm going to go grab the Lindel Lane footage. I'm going to plug it in at exactly like 1:55 and listen to it. See if that brings anything up. See what I hear. So I found this guy. He happened to have that time. And this is what we got. Oop, my mouse just went crazy.
I'll leave it up to you all to decide.
Okay,
At
hold on.
1:57:04, a bizarre shout can be heard.
Okay, wait, there's more yet.
Then at
Okay.
And then at 1:55:45, a female's voice can be heard briefly. Then at 1:55:50.
I just heard it loud and clear. That's got me shaking. It is a male's voice. He is screaming Xana's name brutally. Ethan saw her cut in some way. That's the only way. And it's right at that 2 hour. That's got to be Ethan. Seeing something horrific happen to Xana because he screams guttural. Xana! And it's right at that 2 a.m. I heard it loud and clear. It is a male. It sounds to me like it's Ethan screaming, watching her taken out.
And then at 1:55:45, a female's voice can be heard briefly.
That's a male.
Then at 1:55:58, a screeching sound can be heard, followed by another screeching sound.
It's screaming, not screeching.
I'm not sure if this is a scream or screeching tires. I'll leave it up to you all to decide.
Okay, there's more.
At 1:57:04,
Okay,
a
hold
bizarre
on.
shout can be heard.
That made me sick. All right. So I believe right now we just heard Ethan screaming Xana's name in a blood-curdling, guttural, raw. Okay. Then it's followed by what we're hearing then is female screams. Okay. Let's continue. This would be about a minute and a half after. So this would be about a 3-minute episode, if you will, from beginning to the end of this part.
Important to note, the dark-colored Jeep or SUV that is seen leaving at 4:22 a.m. appears to still be parked in the same location from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
If you want to watch the entirety of...
All right. Done with that. I can't listen to that for a little bit. It's too coincidental for it to be the darkest hour, 2 a.m. And then hear that. A male screaming brutally Xana's name. The timing is time-stamped. What are your thoughts? Do you feel could be Ethan seeing what happened to Xana? Keep in mind, Maddie and Kaylee are arriving as this is all going down in this. So that could mean that Maddie and Kaylee literally walked in on the intended victims and that were chased up to the upstairs. Linda says, I'm sure cops have the right technology to hear well and isolate other noises. I may work with that sound and see if I can clean it up, but that's just shocking. Yes, Michelle, I think the first one sounded like a man, right? To me, I can hear it clear as a bell. He screams Xana's name, and it's horrific sounding. I get why that's the darkest hour now. Ro, yes, Mama D, something definitely happened. Ocean Deep says they both witnessed each other. I feel sick, man. There's no way they couldn't know this. Which means they know they have the wrong guy because Kohlberger's still sitting in his house while this shite's going down. Okay. That's what I want to share with you today. Wow. I had not heard that first part exactly ever before. That's shocking. Let me know what you think below. What are your thoughts? I'll work with the audio. I don't guarantee anything. It's so far away. But that's brutal. Thank you all for tuning in. Joya Wing says they sound terrified as though getting attacked. All right, I'm going to jump over to chat. If this is where you leave me, I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes just chatting it up with anybody that wants to chat. And if, like I said, that's not your thing, I appreciate that. And I will see you again soon. Hey, chatters, how you doing? Hey, Adrienne. Okay, so if Lindel Lane caught that, how come the cops didn't hear it? I'm sure they did. Zoe, I've sent a couple of reminders to our lovely family to place their votes, Mama D. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now, I wrote this before I even heard that part about the Santa thing with the guy's voice. What time frame do you feel the actual crimes took place? We have D, don't have a clue, 11%. A came in second place. Or third place. A came in third place with 4 a.m. to 4:20 because police said so at 12%. B came in second place. 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. after K's phone calls, 25%. And 52% voted C. Ethan and Xana from 1 to 2 a.m., K and M 3 to 4 a.m. And now I believe that the murders took place at 2 a.m. And so, if the murders took place at 2 a.m., like Stacy Chapin's talking, then everything that happened on Kaylee, Maddie, and Xana's phone would have all been by the attackers and people that are accessories to the crime. So, that's interesting thought, huh? Hey, Lucky, I do believe that the KILLO knew them personally. I don't believe a stranger did this. That's how I feel too. IQ Ninja Gal, I'm just grateful to know that they all at least knew they weren't alone and loved in their last moments, no matter how terrible the ending was. Aww. It's too frenzy to be a stranger, said Claire. Hey, Lewis, you say, you see it seems there were 2 assaults because BK was there. Not sure what you mean. Long Island Hillbilly, unless the authorities hear this, it's for naught. The whole thing is for naught. The authorities don't give a pluck. They got their guy. Ask him. FBI? Brian. Prosecution? Brian did it. It's all Brian did it. Brian did it. Well, prove it. Prove Brian was in that house. And you ain't going to do that with touch DNA. You cannot put Brian on that property because of some touch DNA on an item any more than I can put you in my house. Even if I found your phone in my house doesn't mean you brought it here. Feel me? Touch DNA is attached to an item that is transferable, and it does not mean you were anywhere. That's why military doesn't use it in their trials, because it can be planted. That's the whole point of touch DNA. It's not reliable. It could have got there any which way. So, if that's all they're going to go on, they have no way to put Brian on that property. They have no vehicle. I mean, sure. Does that look like Kohlberger's car, Billy Bob? Jimbo, we can say it is. How they going to prove it ain't his car? You feel me? That is maybe a white car. It's light colored. That's all we got. It's a light colored car. Ain't got no plate to be like, oh, yep, it's this car. Nothing. It's a light colored car. There are gazillions of them all over. Everybody and their brother, in this case, has a white Hyundai Elantra. I'm surprised that Chief Fry doesn't own a white Hyundai Elantra because everybody else in this case do. So, no murder weapon. Right. Isles of Shoals. The sheath is not a murder weapon. You're right. Momo thinking they may not even have his DNA on the sheath. They may not even have a swab. The FBI, according to Brett Payne, has never said that the DNA on the sheath is Kohlberger's. Figure that out for you. Exactly, Rob and David Stucksworth. Bethany has a white car like that. And I'll be damned if I can't see it in my head of them girls booking it out the front door, leaving that front door wide open. Bethany being like, I'll drive around the block. Hurry up. Right? Ocean Deep. Well, what happens to criminals taking people's items to commit M with their touch DNA on it? Well, hell, if the private driver was so into Brian, E.G., for so long, a month before the police were onto him, he sounds like he was tracking Brian. He probably got the DNA himself, and his wife works for the PD. You feel me? Lisa Foster, oh, Mama, you're great. We still want you to start a channel for personal readings, though. Honey, you've been missing it if you didn't know. I do have a channel for that. It's called Mama D. Jump over. Watch all of them you would like. Right. IQ Ninja Gal says the touch DNA is glorified sweat print. How do others not understand this isn't pure DNA transfer, such as blood left behind, like the several unknown male DNA found? Good point, IQ Ninja. There is an evil shadow all over that neighborhood, and it's called Liar Liar, right? It's crazy, and it is so dodgy. Totally dodgy. I agree with you guys. You guys have been amazing. It's that time, you guys. Time for me to head on out the door. I love you to the moon and back. I'm so thankful that you joined me today. I hope it gave you some things to think about. It sure the heck did me. I'm going to listen to it again. But 2 a.m., the darkest hour. I feel like for Ethan and Xana, I got my answers as to the time that took place. And that would have been right when Kaylee and Maddie were getting home. I don't know. Again, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. And until I see you again, Take care. Love you. Bye. Bye, Ocean Deep. Bye, Zoe. Prime Candy. Karen. Thank you, Samantha. Momo's thinking. Annette. Linda. Jenny B. Independent Thoughts. Ocean Deep. Rich Higgins. Thanks for Maddie. Cheryl Ferris. Amira. Lisa Foster. Lewis. Good to see you all. Hi, Shelly Bell. Hope you all have a wonderful week.